Dear listener, today we are going to start number lecture 15, typology of the pronoun in English, Russian and the Kazakh languages. Here the plan of our lecture: typology of the pronoun in Kazakh, Russian and English languages. Features of the pronoun in Kazakh, Russian and the English languages. Typology of pronoun. Before beginning to analyze the pronoun as a separate part of speech in modern English, it's necessary to mention that more than once in the history of the linguistics, the existence of some pronoun as a separate part of speech has been denied by the same grammarians. For instance, however, attempts of this kind of have not proved successful, and at the present time pronouns as recognized as a separate part of speech. The main peculiarity of pronoun as a class of words is that they denote a reality. Pronoun serve to denote substances, qualities, quantities, and etc. without naming or describing them. The other chief peculiarity of the pronoun is that the lexeme they have very general meaning, which makes any pronoun capable to be used instead of noun with different properties. For instance, the personal pronoun I can be used in reference with different persons, but the person having different properties in every case. The next characteristics features of pronoun lies in their grammatical meaning. In fact, some pronouns share sensual peculiarities of the noun, such as I, she, mine, yours, somebody, nobody, etc. While the other have much in common with adjectives such as his, which, and who, somebody. For this reason, some grammarians call the first group noun pronoun and the second group adjectives pronoun, and even some of the linguists think that the pronoun is not a separate part of speech. They should be distributed between noun and the adjectives. Etymologically, the word pronoun means a word used instead of nouns, but the role of pronouns is much greater. They can be used not only instead of nouns, but some other part of speech as well. For example, the word many can be used instead of numerals: 10 children, many children. Concluding the introduction to the pronoun, it's necessary to mention Kaushenskaya's viewpoint. The pronoun includes a miscellaneous class of words. There is no uniformity of morphological and syntactical characteristics in the group of pronoun. Despite of different views of the pronoun is treated as a separate part of speech in modern English, and they are traditionally divided into the following groups. Here are the personal categories: person, gender, number, and case. Possessive: person, gender, number, they have conjoined and absolute forms. And the third one, reflexive, fourth, reciprocal, and five, demonstrative. And six, defining. For example, other has case and number: everybody, everyone, case. The rest is don't have categories. 7, interrogative. 8, conjunctive. 9, relative. 10, indefinite, and 11, negative. Features of the pronoun in English, Russian, and the Kazakh languages. The typology of pronouns in Kazakh, Russian, and English can be analyzed through several dimensions, including their grammatical categories and their usage in different syntactic contexts. Key differences and similarities. Case system. Both Kazakh and Russian have complex case system where pronouns change from depending on the syntax or role, while English primarily used word order and the prepositions. Gender distinction. Both Russian and the Kazakh have gender distinction in third person singular pronoun. Russian has a masculine, feminine, and the neutral forms, while Kazakh generally used all for all genders in the nominative, but can differentiate in possessiveness. English only distinguishes gender in third person singular pronoun. For example, he, she, it. Politeness and formality. Both Russian and the Kazakh have formal and informal versions of the second person pronoun, whereas English only uses you in both formal and informal context. Reflexive pronoun. All three languages have reflexive pronouns, but the form differ. In English, they are created with suffix, while Kazakh and Russian have separate words for reflexive pronouns. Each language has a unique set of pronouns and corresponding grammatical features. Kazakh and Russian have more complex inflectional system compared to English, especially in terms of case, marking, and the gender distinction. English relies more on word order and the auxiliary word, while Kazakh and Russian use case system to indicate grammatical relationships. Typology features of noun across language. Case system. Languages like Russian and the Kazakh have a more complex system for case, where pronouns change from based on the syntactic role. Gender. In languages like Russian, gender distinctions exist in third person singular pronoun, which differentiate between masculine, feminine, and nature. On, he, она, she, оно, it. Kazakh traditionally does not have gender distinctions in pronouns, so gender can be indicated in possessive forms. English makes gender distinction only in third person singular pronoun, he, she, it, and generally avoid gender in the plural, they. Politeness and formality. Some languages like Russian and the Kazakh use formal versus informal pronoun in the second person, ты in Russian and sis, sin in Kazakh. English does not have this distinction, so formality can still be expressed through tone and honorifics. Pronoun drop. In languages like Spanish and Italian, subject pronoun can be dropped because the verb conjugation indicates the subject. This can sometimes apply in Russian and the Kazakh, where personal pronouns can be omitted in certain contexts where the verb convey enough information. In conclusion, the typology of pronoun refers the diversity of linguistic structures around the world. Pronouns serve various functions across languages, including identifying participants, showing possession, asking questions, and linking causes. By examining their form, we can better understand how different languages handle grammatical features such as case, gender, number, and the person. The lecture is over. Goodbye.